everybody. This is Pete from Paw Labs, and I am back on the WarGame now. We've had an excursion into lots of custom variables or custom controls, which this screen needs. So that was a diversion of necessity. I want to build out this military type screen from a standpoint of doing the objects behind the modules and getting it to where we can come up and actually input the data for the various element types and units that we're going to have. And this is the underlying behind the scenes fundamental stuff of the game. So this is going to be for each individual element. For one infantry, what is the production cost? What is his point value? What is his movement? For one tank, what is their ranged fire zone of control defense? You know, a binary is infantry is needed just from a standpoint of easily doing validations and stuff in code. Is it pullable? Can it carry infantry? Can it pull equipment? If so, what's the count? And so the idea is that you build this and you work out the mathematics of it all, and then you lock it. If you notice, there's no unlock on this screen. So if you want to unlock this, the idea I have is that we're going to open up the database with our database management utility and go to the table and click it, turn it off. Okay, so we can unlock it manually, but we're not going to give it to the screen to unlock. And it's also going to be one of those features of this application that would fall under developer. This is a developer menu that will have this, and once we get it established, we lock it down, and when we deploy our game, the last thing we'll do is delete the menu, the developer menu parent item, and that way a person playing the game or using the configuration tools can't get to it. So they can build a game that's going to use all of this at low level stuff, at low levels of the game, and it's going to be echoed all the way up. That was kind of what I was referring to when I was going through some of the early mathematics of the game as to how many infantry does it take to make 1 point of defense. So that means each infantry is 10th, 0.1 is each infantry's cost, that kind of thing. So without further ado, now what I'm going to use here is a parent, and then we'll bring the parent screen to the military type screen here is going to be a list. And lists to me are generics. So I do have a list, and actually I have a couple of them because I'm going to do this, I think, with, let's go look. I want to do this with, come on, open up. Let's see. I think this is list, I think it's list 2, but yes. So we're going to do this old style. Once again, I'm opting for speed and getting it done. And then we'll go back and tweak and play and make it pretty and cute and all that kind of stuff after the fact. All right, so let's go back and open up our screen we're going to configure here. And that was military type. And this has a whole bunch of fields. Let's see. All of these empty boxes here, these string fields, currently they're flagged as numeric strings, but they're going to all get swapped out for the string EX gadget, so I can put in 0.10, 0.10 kind of things. And then these infantry, these binary checkboxes are all going to be replaced with the switch gadgets. So I did videos on doing both of those things earlier today. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and swap these guys out too. But let's move on down the road. Okay, so we're going to come in and define this is military type. And military type, keep the same table name. Let's see. Your screen is called military type. Your parent is going to be list 2. The list is going to be on the parent, and that's going to be that guy. Okay, so we can come into here and build our first field. ID standard field is always integer, and is that. And then we're going to have a foreign key to element type. So that's element type ID. That's what signifies this to be a key of some kind. So that's going to be, and let's see, element type is element types. Okay, and on our screen, we have a combo called element type that we'll use. And now, oh, you know what? Let's go back here because we're going to want this to be probably a combo box, and we definitely want it into here. And let's just say not call it a type. We'll just call it an element and put it in here at 150, and he'll be left justified. Okay, so we're going to do a whole bunch into that list view on this table here. And now we have unit type. And this is also going to be an ID field. So this is a foreign key to the type unit type. And he's a combo box. So we can come over here. And I also want him to be part of the list as well. So unit type, you know what? I think I'm going to do this and just call him type. And that way we can keep his width to about, I think I'll keep 60. And we can say center. How about that? We'll center that column. All right, now let's come down here and say production cost. And I'll call this prod cost. Prod cost is going to be a decimal. And how many decimal places? Well, for safety, I'm going to put in 2 decimal places. And I think this is the first time I've used something other than the normals. This is, you know, a decimal place value. So let's see, this would be production cost. And yes, I think we will add him to the list view as well. And prod cost, these should be, I'm going to say right justified. Okay, so now we can come in here and say movement. Movement, I'm trying to keep some names down a bit. Movement is going to be an integer. So we have movement, which is our string field movement. And let's go ahead and say put in movement here. And since that's just a number, we'll center him. And now we can come along and say ranged attack. ranged attack, and ranged attack is integer, and this will be at a distance. What is his attack? So that should be in here. And sure, why not? Let's put you into our list as well and say R and G or range. How about that? We'll say that's range. That's not going to fit inside 60, so we'll probably have to say about 75. Okay, so then we have the ZOC, the zone of control, ZOC attack. And this is going to be also, I believe, an integer. Oh, I bet I just called that attack. That's probably better anyhow. So we have attack and defense, which are zone of control both. So, and this is going to be a, let's see. I got to think on this. I think he's a decimal. Yeah, he's going to be a decimal, two values, and or two decimal places. And we can say attack center. We could do ATK. There you go. That'll try to squish it in. And let's see. I think I'm going to condense this down a bit as well. If we don't like them, we can always change it. It's the beauty of having this to be a generated piece of code. You can tweak it and change it and push it right back. And let's call here RNG range, and then he's easily fitting inside 60. Okay, so I'm trying to keep this thing under 1,000,000 bytes wide. Okay, so then we have defense and DEFENSE, and I'm guessing he's gonna be a decimal and two decimal places. And because if I push all these down to where one infantry, well, it's these guys. This is all going to be like 0.1. So DFN defense. Oops, did I get an N? Yes, I did. Okay. So, and we can center that guy. Okay, and I think that's is, let's start up here and say, is infantry, this of course is going to be a Boolean, and we'll set him to be false. So we're going to let him equal false, and this is going to be, is infantry is a checkbox. And maybe we'll add these, maybe we won't. We'll see. Is pullable. Is pullable is going to be a Boolean. We're going to set him to be false off the bat. And is pullable. There we go. And then we can get into can carry infantry. So this is going to be Boolean, and again, we're going to set all these to false. And let's see, can carry infantry, can pull equipment. Okay. And something to think about while we're doing all this. This is Boolean false. um, what you ought to think about, how do you have standards on naming fields on tables and such? Some people prefer them to be all uppercase. Okay. And then this is going to be locked. And locked is, yeah, I know I've missed two fields here, but I want to go change them. So we can say default is false. And let's see. And locked. There he is. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. Let's save this for the moment. Yeah, I'm going to kill these two fields here. And that's carry count and pull count. Okay, so we'll grab this guy and bring him down here. Don't want a bunch of different kind of things here. And this is carry count. CARRY count. And so we can then clone this, slide it on down where we want it. And this is pull count, right? Okay. Pull count. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. We can push the code out and make sure we're all in the right spot. And yes, and then we can jump. I think it's, oh, that was custom controls. Yeah, we're here. This is video game. Yeah, so let's go ahead and run ICE design process. Come on. There we go. And yeah, right now that's all I want to do is push that out. All right, so that's done. And now let's come back. Whoops, I'm going to put both of these up here. So now what we want to do is add infantry's first carry count. Carry count. All right, and this is going to be an integer. And let's come down here. And that's going to be carry count. There it is. Right there. Okay. So let's go ahead and, well, it'll default automatically to 0. I'm going to let that one be. And I want this to come up and be right below our carry infantry. So then we can add pull count. And this is also going to be an integer because, I mean, who is it that we're talking about here that carries infantry or pulls equipment? That's going to be a truck or a Jeep or a tank, right? I mean, those are the big boys. And those are all we're going to provide. Well, transport planes, and I mean, there's other bigger vehicles and stuff like that. Let's put this up here with his pole. There we go. All right, so there we go. We got our data or our table definition. We'll go ahead and execute this. And I don't even have SQL up. SQL normally brings it up for me. And let's see. Come on. Okay, it's finally coming up. Not the fastest thing in the world, is it? Okay, but this is an important underlying table to the overall mechanics. Um, what I'm going to do is push all this out, and then we can bring in the two code modules, and then we can load them into the project here in just a minute. Let's see who we got. We got our video game. Perfect. Okay, so we'll come over here and we will paste our SQL code in. So nice to not have to write any of that. I just kind of love this whole process here. That's all done. We have a military type table created, so we're done with that program. All right, let's generate our database layer. This is our module here, and all he's going to do is export it out. So he's where he needs to be. And then we can push out the control loop stuff. This is the code behind the form. And this is out and on its way. So this is, I'm splicing this segment in. First time through this, I made a mistake in Class Builder, and I wrote the program. I should know better. Okay, so in military types, what I did wrong was grab FRM list 2. And what I really wanted to do, was call list. And I probably should make some changes to the code. FRM list is a special form. Okay, its name exactly specifically being FRM list tells Class Builder that we're going to build a list screen, and we're going to build a detail screen, and we're going to build a control loop that encompasses both. When I came through this the first time, I selected FRM list 2, which promptly did not do that. He only built the control loop for building the military type screen alone. And that's not what we want here. So I'm coming back and putting this in and admitting my mistake to y'all. So hopefully y'all can figure it out as well. And now I'm going to repush code out, and I don't think it impacts the database layer itself. This is more of a code behind the form thing. So yeah, it doesn't impact the code at all, the actual module. Oops, hit the wrong X, didn't I? But you're going to see a dramatic change when we go to the code behind form. So let's come in here and say, yes, push it out. Let's bring up our compare utility, and holy Toledo, look at all the changes that we got. And I'm going to lock, stock, and barrel take them all. So now our code is the way it should be generated. All right, now we're going to jump over to the code itself. We're going to reload this guy. Okay, so when I discovered the error, I was well along in moving this forward. I've already included the code up here at the top of our script. I've put our developer, I believe that's what I called it, developer menu item on the screen for us. And I've already hotwired him to call the form behind the code here. Let me collapse all of this. That's a control F4. That should have control. There it is. Okay, so it collapses it in. Now, one other thing I'm going to hotwire, because I don't want to use list 1. I actually want to use list 2. So I have multiple lists that I want to play with. And so we'll come back over here to the video game windows. And what I'm going to do is copy 2. And we'll come up here and paste him in. So now I have a custom version of that form that this screen's going to use. And let's see. We're going to come into you and say first change we'll do is let's call it, we have to have a unique name, right? So let's do an open military military TARY type list. Okay, so we'll call that. Now his parent, if we come over here on the constructor line of open window, we're going to slide way out here and say window window ID, and we're going to put in window FRM main. Okay, so now window main owns him. The reason you do that, and this is kind of important, when you pop up a screen on top of a screen, if the screen behind is the parent of the child, the software won't let you jump back to the main screen because the child is sitting on top. He'll blink the top child screen at you and say, no, 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 this is a child. You need to deal with him and close him. Then you can go back to the other. And it does that magically for you. Okay, so now we are ready to run this. We have moved this down here to the open. I renamed the FRM list. Now you may think I'm pulling a fast one, and I guess kind of, I'll raise my hand and say yes. So I've created the list of gadgets as a difference between list 2 and list 1. So they're created. That's all they need to have is a number. So I can change all the form guys, but the font, these have to stay 2. And the other one that has to stay 2 are the images. These guys all stay 2. This guy is also used on the actual list, and it's used on the other, so it doesn't really matter for him. Okay, so instead of down here opening FRM window list, we're going to open up FRM military, this guy. And I'm going to close my eyes and hit play and see how badly this comes up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's see here. All right, on this issue, this is the save function, and what it's trying to do is update the list from where this came. And if you think back to the list icon, I put a whole bunch of fields in there. This code here is specifically written and with a hard-coded field called name. I know that's not necessarily correct. You'll be correcting this block of code forever when you use Class Builder, but I don't see that too terrible a problem. So if we come back to the module on this and take a look at our load list icon, we have all of these fields that are in there. So this is going to take a bit of work over here to get fixed. My normal solution is to come in here and build something called like line. And then what I can do is one by one take the fields. So we can say line equals, and we'll put all the fields in here that is part of this. And this is going to be, I think military type was first, right? What was that one? Element type. So what we're going to do is say element type plus pound LF dollar plus, we'll put him in, and what was the other one? Unit type. All right, so now these are obviously things that have to get converted to strings because those are all integers. So for right now, I'll put this in like this. STR. Okay, and then we have all the rest of the fields. And then at the very end, you come in and add another pound LF dollar. Okay. So instead of name, what we can do is fill all the rows with this guy. And then if it's an update, now I'm only doing a few. That 0 can go. Okay, so we can do that, and now I don't need to comment these all. Okay, come up here. Okay, so now he should actually run, but know that we're not going to properly update that grid. We're going to have to manually massage the grid anyhow. Okay, oh, it's pound LF dollar Pete. Oh, and now I dragged it somewhere. Okay, come out here. Dollar. Okay. So then we hit play. And okay, we've passed compile. That's a good sign. And we have our developer. And if you see, I've in the off time last night changed this out to be a data grid, so it's looking a little prettier. We can go to material type, and here's where we're going to have the problem. This is a very small field, and it's a great big list. So we're going to need to manually manipulate this list to get bigger. And before I actually click on any of this, I want to come up here and take a look at the control loop. Let's come into the monstrous control loop that is this script here. And we want to look at gadgets. Now I have these comments in here that help you navigate where stuff is. And oh, that came out really funky, didn't it? So we just want to left click. That's because we use list. List only has the one. So yeah, we're going to need to come in and add modify. And this is my own darn fault. I changed the original list to be this new one, and I didn't think about all the ramifications. So we'll put you back to modify and delete. Okay. So here in this code, we're going to say this would be military create, I believe. Military type create. Yes. Military type create. I do have a code block, I think, that I can just shove into here. Let's see. Once again, it's that I hate writing the same stuff over and over. Okay. So what we're going to do is copy the list down here and just we can then put that in here and say, okay, we've got our index. We can say ID equals, well, we don't really need to do that. Let's come over here and say military, and this is going to be a modify, and he's going to want the ID. So we can say get gadget, if I could type DGET, get gadget item data, and that's going to be index, and we can paste in the list again. And if not, he's going to give a whining, oh my God, please select something. Okay, so we copy this down here. Everything's kind of cool. Change this to a delete. And change this to delete. So now he's calling the right functions. Okay, so now when we hit play, we should have the screen come up. Okay, so I made a syntax error. What did I do wrong? Probably forgot a parent or something. So modify, yes, I did, didn't I? So if I missed it there, consistency, it's the last stronghold of the unimaginative. So if you're going to make it always the same way, right? Why half do something when you can do it all the way? Okay. So this comes up. We go to developer. We come up with our screen, which we need to make bigger. We hit add and presto. Look at this. We didn't get a point value in here. That's kind of interesting. So these guys are going to, oh, we haven't put this in here yet. Haven't swapped them out yet. So I'll do that offline. I've got videos out there showing you how to go about doing that. So you can refresh yourself with those while I flush this screen out, make it a little bit wider and put some cute little stuff in there. But that pretty much finishes this video on getting that screen operational, or 95% of it. And thanks for your time. We'll get back together shortly.